Assalamu alaikum to all. This is the second part of aquaculture lecture, and now we will start from the cage culture. What is the cage? Rearing of fish from juvenile stage to the commercial size in volume, offer enclosed on all sides. This is the place where fish can be reared in a place where four sides are closed. In this culture, the fishes are held in a section of water, either in a flowing river or in a big impoundment. You can do it in natural environment where already a water body is present, such as you can use river, lakes or streams where enough water is present for a fish. The fish are imprisoned in a cage made of galvanized steel wire frames in nylon meshes or simply of bamboo frames with split bamboo mats. You can use different things to make a cage in which you can use bamboo frames or steel wires and other things. The cages are of various sizes and commonly used size is about 10 square per meter. Cages are of following types: floating cages, fixed cages, submerged cages, and movable cages. The principal aim of culturing fishes in cage is to practice monoculture of selected species. You can culture only monoculture of selected species. It means you can only culture one species. You can't culture more than one species. In other words, you cannot culture a polyculture. The advantages of the cage culture: effective use of existing water bodies. In this cage culture environment, you do not need to arrange water from any other source. It's mean you can use natural water that is present in river, lake, or in any stream. Technically simple. It's not difficult to make a cage because it's very simple, because you only need to close four sides of a cage. Easy observation and handling of fish population on daily basis. It reduces fish mortality, easiness in the control of competitors, predators, and parasites. Control of disease and isolation of the disease fishes is easy in floating cages. Initial investment is relatively less because you do not need to add more water and any other. You do not need to find any other source for water, or you don't need any feed, external feed. You need external feed, but fishes can eat from the bottom of the natural environment. Advantages of the cage culture: vulnerable to external water quality problem, that is the algal blooms, low oxygen. If there is any problem in a water like river or streams, or a river that having drainage water from any factory or industry, then there will be some contaminants that will pollute the water, and it will affect the fish stock is more vulnerable to predator, for example birds. There is a need of maintenance of high dissolved oxygen content. Falling agents like snails extra accumulate at the bottom of the cage, which needs periodic removal. Because if you do not remove these snails, then from the bottom cage can be damaged. This picture you can see the cages that are closed from all four sides, and they are made in a natural body water. You do not need any external water to add in them. Next is the pen culture, defined as raising of fish in a volume of water enclosed on all sides except bottom. In cage culture, bottom is also covered, but in it bottom is not covered. This system can be considered a hybrid between pond and cage culture. This system is in between a pond and cage. The enclosure should be the relatively small, about 2 to 7 hectare. The depth of the pens should be more than 1 meter even in low tide condition. Most of the perimeter of the enclosure pen is formed by the natural shoreline. The barriers are made of stones, sand, soil, or the concrete and are provided with screens. These screens prevent the escape of the fish stock. In this way, you can save your fishes from loss. And these are the pen culture diagram. You can see many pen cultures are here in a water. Here are some advantages of the pen culture suitable for culturing varied species. Here there is no restriction that you can culture only one fish, or monoculture. You can uh, do polyculture. Ease of harvest, availability of the natural food, and exchange of material with the bottom, because here bottom is not covered. As it is continuous process, due to continuous supply of water, production is greater in a limited space with rich food and oxygen supply. You can say in this is the intensive culture in which you can acquire a small area, and you can yield many fishes in small area. It generally generates employment opportunities for the coastal people. There is a less danger of fish mortality as toxic metabolized ammonia are flushed regularly because bottom is covered. Disadvantages of pen culture are high demand for oxygen and water flow. Unfavorable weather condition may damage the pen or flood the culture sites. Terrestrial insects sometimes take refuge in the exposed portion of pens and cause damage. The nylon webbing enclosure may be cut and damaged by certain species of crabs. Organisms like Belanus pen culture sites may be polluted, particularly during the occasional abundance of the red tide, causing organisms such as the dinoflagellates. After pen culture, cage culture, here is one more culture, that is the raceway culture. In it, fishes are cultured in a running or flowing water, designed to produce a flow-through system to enable rearing of much denser population of fishes. These are two types: linear type and the lateral type. In linear type, ponds are arranged such that large water volume enters the pond. Same water can be used for pond to pond occurrence, but here is one disadvantage, that if a disease spread in one pond, it will affect other ponds. Lateral type ponds are arranged out parallel. Water volume entering each pond is small. Fresh water supply, no transfer of disease from one pond to the other. And this is the advantage of the lateral type raceway culture. In this diagram, you can see the linear type in which water is transferred from one pond to the another pond, and in parallel lateral type, the water in every pond has its own water, and water it cannot be transferred from one pond to another pond. One more type is the recirculating aquaculture system, in which this incorporates treatment and reuse of water with less than 1% of total water volume replaced per day. In areas of water scarcity, the recirculatory system of fish culture is practiced. Fish is kept in one chamber and water is another chamber, highly dependent on power supply to pump water through fish chamber. Hence, water is circulated continuously and a very little water is introduced. In this diagram, you can see fish tank which needs a feed, and after that mechanical filtration is happening in a fish tank through denitrification, in which the nitrogen dioxide is converted into the nitrogen. Then it will go into the wastewater, and next is the pump tank, in which water energy is coming from the pumps, and after that biological filtration will happen through the process of nitrification, in which NH4 will convert it into the NO2 plus NO3. Then carbon dioxide will be excluded from it, and oxygen will be added, and after that same process will be repeated. Next one is the alga culture. Alga culture is a type of aquaculture that cultivates algae. Most algae harvested is either microalgae, that is phytoplankton, microphytes, or the planktonic algae, or macroalgae, commonly known as the seaweed. Microalgae are easier to harvest on a large scale. Fish and seaweed have cooperative effect, heterotrophic and autotrophic. Seaweed improves fish immune system because seaweed is very important for the herbivore fishes, because herbivore fishes eat feed that is dependent on the herbs or plants. You will see some more lectures on aquaculture in next videos. Thanks for watching.